What's up, guys? Josh Brown here with Texas Boat World, and man, I've been hyped up to get on you with this new Skeeter ZXE model, and we're gonna do a little walkthrough today. I'm gonna try to get into it in some detail. If you didn't see my last video that compared the Skeeter ZXR to the FXR, I'm gonna try to trim that down a bit and not be quite as long, but there are a lot of changes in this thing we're pretty excited about. This is a pretty awesome boat, the way they've got it set up, and with these changes they've made. It's probably one of the biggest revamps Skeeter's done in a very long time, so hang with me. All right, guys, so we'll start back here at the back, and one of the first things you're gonna notice is we've trimmed down the sponsons a little bit. And I'll get to why they did that later, but before we get to the inside, let's look at the outside. And this might not seem like a huge deal, but for a lot, we've re-angled our pump outs on both sides. Prior, they shot straight back into our Raptors or our power poles or whatever we had there. In this case, the Raptors. This time, now in this new design, they are shooting to the outside. And I'm sure you saw, we've made a change to where they located the charger port. We finally moved this thing to the back, which is outstanding. We all know we hate trying to get up under the cover to get to that charger if we've got it covered up, or just in general trying to run something up there into the cockpit. So this is a pretty awesome little change here. All right, moving to the inside, we have made a 30% increase in the size of this battery compartment. Which for any do-it-yourselfers or techs out there watching this, this is phenomenal. You've got so much more space to work. You can absolutely just set any battery you've got straight down comfortably in this box. So that's going to be a huge change for anybody that does a lot of their own work, or just on the tech side that struggled with trying to get stuff in and out of there. They've continued to progress with the ease of working in this box, and this is just awesome here. Now you can see the ZXR is also going to come with a 5-bank charger here this year, which is another awesome change. Now, staying in our battery box, you can see all our breakers are easily accessible here. They do have their dedicated line ran up into this main and onto one of the other breakers there, but you're not trying to squeeze your hand down in beside something to get to them. You can clearly see them, so there's no forgetting they're down there. So that's another awesome little change. Still got our quick disconnects, easy access on all our live well fittings and pumps and everything. So that's something they've been doing. Awesome. Glad we can still see that there. Let's keep moving up into the boat a little bit. Now, looking at our back deck here, no major changes to the live wells or storage boxes, but one big change that we did was we saw a change in our latching system. Okay, and in the pre-video there, you saw every door that we've got back here, aside from them back ones, are on our slam latches. Now, they've moved these to the outside of our boxes to ensure that we ain't gonna see any water leaking. So it latches on the outside of our water lip there, so we're going to keep our boxes dry. We've got several extra drain holes in there just in case we do get wet gear in there that needs to drain out or anything. So they thought about that. They did a good job there. Now, we won't get real big into the aesthetics, but on here you can see that we've made another change for our passenger rod storage system. We've got this little step system here that's going to allow your passenger to kind of tear their rods up, maybe get to them a little easier, prevent some tangles. And in our little day box, if we've got a single console, we have changed the way this opens, so it's going to be a little bit easier for me to just sit here and open to get into, and you can see I can get straight down in there without having to be up and over the box, or I can stay seated and get in there. And we still got a little USB charger, or 12-volt charger port, USB port rather, right here, which is a nice add-on into this model. Now we've got a little change to our step-up system here. We still they've got to have a way to separate the FXR and the ZXE models. So there's still no storage here, but it's a nice two-step tier down. They've done a real good job lifting this up, making that a solid step there. And we've still got our tool rod organizers over here off to the sides of those steps. Now continuing in the cockpit there, you can see they've done away with the side drains that were on either side and went to one singular drain in the center, much larger, and it's all sloped down into this area. And again, I know we're gonna hear the comment, why do we have carpet? They've done a good job of sloping it so that it'll drain properly. And again, they have got to keep something that separates the FXR and the ZXR. And like my last video showed, if you didn't see it outright or yet, go take a look. I know it seems like a lot of little things, but there is a lot of differences in the FXR, and you could see that in the last one. So these seem like little things, but they do add up. But nice design there. Now moving over here, since we moved the charger port to the back, all we've got here is our flow right plug. So open and close there, and then our switch is down here. We have another USB port down here, which is again different from their previous models where we had a 12-volt charger. So nice little change here. We've also changed our dash panel a little bit, and one of the biggest things asked for, and I think they heard it and did it, and I think it's a great change, is adding a digital gauge here to the ZXE. It's a man, it was one of the ways they separated the models, but this is something everybody asked for, everybody wanted to add, and it's a fairly expensive upgrade to get this thing in there after the fact, or to NEMA in to our graph system. So that's nice here. We've still got our oxygenator button over here, so we can get to that there. Box fan, all our controls are easily accessible here. Toggle switches, which I love. I know a lot of people are liking the digital stuff that we're setting up, but man, if something goes wrong, easy to replace. So that's awesome. This boat does come standard with the Explorer 12. Now moving on to the front deck. There was a massive change here, and just simply in design, you can see we've angled our boxes. It's going to let us be able to open our doors with our rod strapped down without them pushing up over the sides there. Our day box is 50% bigger, and we did move to slam latches, but we have also went away from the metal deck and went to a fiberglass deck. So you can see the slam latches are on the outside. Still got just huge amounts of storage. You see we've got our light in here as well. It's our day box, and the change we saw a couple years ago that they've continued with is getting our electronics up here. Now this is something that is a little bit different this year. They've ran fuse blocks at the console and the bow, which has made it really easy for, again, any DIYers out there that are doing their work themselves, or techs when they've got to do some work on the electronics or add electronics. Easily accessible, easy to run into that. So awesome little change in addition there. Now moving up toward the bow, immediately you're going to notice the offset on the trolling motor. Okay, they've taken that trolling motor, we've moved it in, keep it from hanging off the edge over here. Awesome change there. That has also taken us into separate lights again. So instead of the single light under the trolling motor in the front, we've got our dual lights on either side. All right, now if you've ever worked on any Skeeter model previously, you knew this entire plate, because it was connected, had to come out before we could do anything. You almost always had to take that entire plate out. They've separated it, so anybody that works on these themselves or any tech, guys, this is awesome right here. It's just gonna make life getting into here a lot easier. But on that note, and I've already got this disconnected just so I can show you. You can see where we mount that here. But it does come with a 9 standard up here, and it's mounted to the plate, and we've got another set pre-done here where we can mount our second graph. Now I did mock this up yesterday because this is sold, and I can tell you that 212s will sit comfortably in this spot on their pre-done mount. So that's going to save you hundreds of dollars on needing additional mounting hardware. Just awesome to be able to use the OEM hardware. We just gimbal it down, and it looks good, and you guys will see it when we're done with it. But awesome change. But wait, there's more. So it's as easy as disconnecting your graph. Just take your graph off the gimbal, or both graphs simply off the gimbal. That's it. You take a couple knobs out. We've got our little lever here, and it's snug. I was a little worried about this, but this does seem to be pretty snug. We'll slide this over and out of the way, and look at this. Would you look at this? Guys, just immediate open access for you to be able to get into your bow panel here and just do work. Fuse block's already there. It's gonna make it really easy to add your 360 or your live scope or another graph or whatever it is that you're tying power into. It is just a phenomenal time and headache saver with the way we're setting boats up nowadays. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And another one of our changes that you'll see is we've got our trim switches here. So they've moved them off of this area down here. So you can tap that with your foot and get them up and down. And with this one we did have upgraded with the Quest instead of the Ultrex. Standard with the Ultrex, we upgraded the Quest here, and we put a custom cover on this boat, which is pretty much how we set up every one of these ZXRs, or ZXEs rather. But with our Quest, we've got our quick button key that's going to allow us to control our Raptors back there once everything's networked together, so you can keep your deck clear of any other tripping hazard or just stuff that's going to add to the cost, add to things that can go wrong, or just stop functioning. So just another really well thought out design with this setup, and really cool feature on the Quest if you hadn't seen that. Those hotkeys are pretty awesome. Taking a look at the front deck here, you can also see we've still got our padded front deck. This section of the deck is not padded, but our forward fishing platform is a padded front deck. Now, no major changes on the trailer. Trailer's your standard Skeeter trailer. You can see we still do have a Hamby as standard on here. It does not come standard with a hydraulic jack plate. Neither does the FXR, for everybody that wants to argue in the forums that they do. It is not a standard option. It is an upgrade. But as we stand out here, you can see we've changed the lines up a little bit. So you got a much sleeker look. Really, really brought it into what people are looking for today. Made it look a little fresher, a little newer. Very sharp boat, very sharp boat. A ton of just phenomenal changes on this thing. I encourage you to either come see us or go see your local Skeeter dealer and take a look at one of these. You're gonna be absolutely shocked at just how much this boat has to offer. It's a no-brainer. It's a fantastic boat. Guys, come take a look.